What's up guys, it's Tom Ainsworth back with another drum lesson. What you've just heard me play there is the third track out of the Trinity College book, and this one's called In the Pocket. Got a really funky track here. It's like a good tempo, you've got 98 beats per minute. You've got a nice solid fill, some syncopated grooves where you're not just playing exactly on the beat every time. You've got a ride cymbal section that's quite interesting, quite funky. It's got an offbeat snare drum. So yeah, let's get into it. For this one, you're starting off with a fill, so you've got that 2-bar counting, and then you come in with a loud fill. You've got that forte written underneath, and then on the top where you've got the little line going over, that means you're accenting, so you want to really smack that first beat. Remember on beat 2 there, you've actually got a full quarter note rest, so once you've hit that beat 1, you go 1, 2, 3 and 40 and. Remember to leave the proper spacing for this one, so once you've hit that first beat, you want to be counting still, be aware of where the space is, but don't rush into that 3 and 40 and. That sounds a little like this. So once you've pieced that together, slow it right down, because that's at the full speed there. Slow it down as much as you need to just to work out that timing. You can try looping it over and over again. Because you finish it on the and of 4, you've got a little bit of time to go 40 and 1. So pull that left hand back over to the snare drum and you can just go at it again. Now the next bar that you've got, just like in last week's lesson we were looking at stone roller, you'll see you've got some crash cymbals on the quarter notes. So just like with that and with the previous bar, you want to be really aware of your spacing. So there we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, all quarter notes with the snare drum going on 4 there. Again, you've got accents, so make sure you're really whacking that kick and the crash cymbal there. There's no sticking in this, so you could do all rights, all lefts, alternating. It's completely up to you. I either do all rights or I alternate. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right, left, and then you're ready, because you're doing that left on beat 4, you're ready to come straight into the groove with your right hand free. So when it actually gets into the groove, you'll notice at the start of that bar you've got 2 thick lines and then a couple of dots. And what that means is that it's the start of a repeat section. So what you want to do in any of the music you're looking at is, if you see those 2 beats facing inwards, so it's as if it's going into the bar, you want to skim across and find where it's coming on the other side of it. So there we've got 2 lines and the 2 dots on this side here, dropping my stick, 2 lines this way, as if you're going into the music like that. You want to be looking for the end of a bar like that, but with the dots on the inside of it, so they're closing up together. So in this case, we're at bar 6, so if you look on the 3rd line, 2nd bar in, it's got that kind of bracket over it with the number 1. That's the end of your repeat section. So you play up to that point, so we've got 1, 2, 3, we've got 4 bars, a 4-bar section. Then you've got those 2 little dots there, means you go back to the top of it and you play through it again. Now what's different in this track to where you just get a normal pair of repeat bars is that you've got the number 1 in the actual repeat bar there, and then the one after it you've got number 2, and that's for the first time round and the 2nd time round. So if you've got nothing at all, you've just got those repeats, you just play it, so when you get to the end of the repeat section, then you go through it again and carry on. It's kind of the same thing for this. The first time you're doing it, you play that first time bar, and then the 2nd time you play the first 3 bars, and then you skip that bar with the number 1 going over it, and you play the bar with the number 2 instead. So either way, you've got a 4-bar section. If you listen to the track, you'll notice at the end of that 2nd bar, you've got the crash cymbal with the snare drum on beat 4. That's a big indicator if you're getting stuck with this one. And again, if you want to count the bars out, you've got a 4-bar section, then you're back to the top with the repeat, going through it again, but you play that 2nd time bar. Now, I kind of call this the B section, but the part in bar 7 where you've got the ride cymbal, where you've got a big change, again, just like Stone Roller, we're going on to the ride cymbal, so it's a definite section change. The main thing to notice there is that the snare drum's not actually on beat 2, you've got it on the and of 2 here. And you want to get used to playing that, because it feels really uncomfortable at first, so try it dead slow. It sounds a little like this if you're just looping that first bar, so bar 7. So get used to playing that. You've got 3 of those bars just repeating. Remember, you've got forte, so you want it to be a bit louder than the previous section. That crash cymbal on the on beat 4 in that second time bar will help you get into that dynamic. And then again, because you've got a ride cymbal ringing out longer, it'll just help you build the dynamic more than the hi-hats. So in bar 10, we've got another fill. Again, be careful of all your different timings for this, your different rhythmic values, because we're starting off with quarter notes, then eighth notes, and then you've got some 16ths. So we're getting a little bit faster. I find it really helpful with stuff like this to actually write the rhythm over the top of it. So there we've got 1, 2, 3 and 40 and. So write those out so then you can just reference it. As soon as you'll get to that bit, you can see, okay, cool, I've got these beats to play, and then it kind of makes you more aware of the spacing. So once you've played that fill, we're going back into a hi-hat section. So there we've got mezzo, forte, medium, loud, so you want to drop it down a little bit again. And it's pretty much the same section as the start, so we'll call this the A section again. We've got that A section at the start, B section on the ride cymbal, we're back to another A section. And again, you've got a fill, similar rhythm to before. We've got 3E and 4E and we're just putting it on different instruments. So we start off with the snare drum, 3E and, then over to the floor tom, 4E and. So just like the other ones, get used to playing that beat over and over. Sounds a bit like this. So then you're just following it along, it's the same groove. Remember, it's just like that second time bar in bar 14. You've got the crash cymbal and the snare drum together on beat 4. Remember to leave the proper rest. That's taking up the whole of beat 4 there. If you look in the bar, it's the last note before the next bar. So you don't want to be rushing into it and playing the next note too early. You want to be going 1, 2, 3 and 4, boom. Just like that, rather than 1, 2, 3 and 4, boom. You want to leave it for a full quarter note with that one. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And then bar 15, again, get used to playing this one because it's not like a normal groove. This is just kind of a filler to the end of it. And you'll hear in the music, the other instruments are kind of building up dead slowly. So there you've just got your eighth notes on your hi-hats, quarter notes playing 4 on the floor on the kick drum, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you've got 4 16ths at the end. They're completely equal, so don't feel like you have to speed those up. They're twice as fast as your eighth notes, and bars 15 and 16 sound just like this. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, really appreciate it. If you like what you see, let me know. If you didn't like what you see, let me know. I'll be back for another lesson next week. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, Tom Ainsworth Music. I'll leave links in the descriptions for that. Feel free to check out my past lessons. I've done some honours practice. Check in next week for another lesson. Subscribe so you get notifications, hit that little bell icon, and have a great week, guys.